And I remember during my 22nd birthday, I'm at my friends' graduations. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I went to school with started freshman year. And it was a bittersweet moment. I'm not going to hold you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm celebrating my friends, but I'm like, damn, I wish I was down there. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like that kind of like fueled a fire in me to like really finish strong even after, you know, I seen my friends graduate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it brought me back to my dad just telling me to finish what I start. You know, don't leave anything left alone without doing anything to finish it, you know?
What was the biggest hiccups, right? Because like I said, I've seen whether athlete, full scholarship, regular students, every university has its own ecosystem. But you know, obviously, most people we're kind of let off the leash in relation to no longer being under our parents' care. Yeah. What were the biggest traps for you as a young man? And if there was something unique about an HBCU, expound on that.
I mean, I would say like the freedom. I got a little carried away with the freedom that I had being away from New York. Because like I ain't gonna lie, like, living in Newburgh, like, you don't really see, like, the next engineers or the next doctors, you know what I'm saying? You just see the hoopers and the rappers, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect, you know what I'm saying? So, like, once I got, like, that freedom, I'm literally with friends who are about to be future doctors, lawyers, engineers, and I'm partying with them, you know what I'm saying? Forgetting my reasoning on why I went to school in the first place.
It's good.
You know what I'm saying? And, I kind of got distracted. With engineering, it's already hard itself, but
buddy,
you know what I'm saying?
You ain't picked no light work, brother.
Yeah, I know, man. Differential equations, I had to take that twice. That was hell, man. That was stressful, man.
You stay on your A game with these differentials.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like, just to get like a vulnerable, like from 2015 to 2017, unfortunately, I lost some family members. So the day before my 18th birthday, I lost my grandmother. Same day as my sophomore move-in day, I lost my grandfather. And then during finals week of my sophomore year spring semester, my aunt unfortunately committed suicide.
All right, let's talk real quick through that, because, you know, especially as a young man, that's some of the most vulnerable time, because you're still discovering, you're in pursuit of something, but you're also still discovering who you are at the same time.
Most definitely.
Right? So then you lose what I would imagine to be extremely meaningful relationships in your life. You know, like how did you heal from some of that pain? Like some of us, like I said, as a young man, I was a functioning alcoholic. So and we know that there's healthy ways to heal. Yeah. You know, for some people would say cope. But what were the things that you did at the time, and how did you overcome some of that gap and eventually come out as a better young man?
So honestly, like, you know, like this whole conception with like men not being able to cry and stuff like that, we gotta be strong. Like, honestly, like there was a point in time where I was like that, but you know, like when those deaths happened, you know, I was crying, man. But like after those cries, I would feel somewhat better, because like all that tension and, you know, like hurt just kind of went away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, you know, as I always say, take your pain and make champagne with it. You know what I'm saying? So, you feel me? Like, you know, like,
take your pain and make champagne with it.
You feel me? Or like, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Like, one of the two I would prefer. You know what I'm saying? If you're not, you know.
I'm liking the champagne. I don't even drink. Actually, I couldn't stand champagne, but now it has some meaning in my life.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, just, you know, using the motivation of them, like, you know, because like when they were alive, they were always pushing me to be the best that I could be. So like, I remember a week before my grandmother passed, I made a promise to her at her deathbed that I will graduate from high school, attend Hampton, and graduate from Hampton. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And throughout that whole time, like, I'm dealing with, you know, my grandfather's death. Sure. I dealt with like a death threat. You know, I'm dealing with so many things, man, that you could think of. You know what I'm saying? Life be lifing, man. And I remember I was just telling myself, yo, I got to fulfill this promise I made to my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? And May 1st, 2020, that's when I received my final grades. I managed to get a 3.06 GPA.
Let's go. Once
I graduated from Hampton, and once I got that final grade, man, I was crying, man. I was like, yo, I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Adrian.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, got his Rocky moment, baby.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man. Well, congrats. Like I said, I don't think any major accomplishment is without celebration, right? Like, I think you know, we set the bar too low, even though we celebrate high school, you know, graduation. But when you move on and do something beyond and you perceive something higher, it has to be respectfully celebrated. But like I said, you didn't stop there. So, but it sounds like the Tendaji was formulated after your undergrad, correct?
Yeah. So June of 2020, that's when we founded Tendaji after we won that pitch competition that was sponsored by Forbes.
Yeah.
And that's when we said, if Forbes is telling us yes, why wouldn't we tell ourselves no?
So you got a partner, and it sounds like obviously you got a partner with Tendaji, and you guys, boom, y'all get the project done. You get some affirmation. At what point do you like? Okay, what's the process like, right? Because you got young people, everybody's aspiring to do something significant. Yeah. Most people don't have a Ford stamp of approval. Most people don't have a Pharrell pitch. So talk to us about some of these early wins that really gave you confidence, and how you guys began to partner, and what that really looked like a little bit underneath as a young minority startup.
So when we founded Tendaji, only my co-founder Stanton had a business, like a fashion line, and it's called Somi's. So he kind of gave us a glimpse of what entrepreneurship was. But with me being the CEO, I had to learn a lot, throughout this whole journey that he couldn't even tell me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So us coming from engineering backgrounds, we didn't know business like that.
Sure.
All we did know was making the product. We didn't know how to market it.
This is powerful.
Legal advice, all that stuff.
Come on, bro.
I got to
talk about all these pillars right here. Yeah, marketing, sales, operations.
Exactly, man. So first I had to learn what business was like. And when I was at A&T at the time, you know what I'm saying? Can I get an Aggie pride? Gotta go ahead and say it again, you know what I'm saying? So I joined this one organization called HBCU VC. Shout out to HBCU VC, DR4, you already know what it is.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I remember during my interview, now one of my good friends, Lavanya Jones, she was the program manager for HBCU VC. And she was asking me what is a startup that you would want to invest in? So I wanted to say my business, but I was so scared because I didn't know what startup meant. So I told her Google. And she was like, Google's not a startup, DJ. I was like, I'm in the interview dang, I ain't about to get in. How am I gonna learn now? But when she explained it to me, and I was like, oh, okay, then yeah, Tendaji. I was invest in Tendaji. And then she was like, oh no, we're gonna teach you, don't worry. I was like, oh, so I'm in? We'll let you know in a week. I was like, all right, hopefully I get in. You know what I'm saying? So I got accepted. I was happy. And I was like, okay, so as for HBCU VC, they're teaching you more about being an investor, but as an entrepreneur, you gotta learn how investors think too, so you can be 10 steps ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. Come on.
So learning about cap tables and MVPs and other things that have to do with venture capital and investing.
Sure.
It kind of gave me a kickstart to really get things going for Tendaji. Now we may not have all the resources, but at least it gave me a good foundation to make this business grow.